Did you know that Salem wasn't the only place plagued by witch hunts? Across Europe, and even in other parts of the world, countless communities were gripped by fear and hysteria, leading to tragic and often brutal consequences. History books often focus on sensationalized events, leaving countless stories untold. These forgotten tales hold valuable lessons and insights into human nature and societal fears. What other dark chapters lie hidden in the shadows of time? From the dungeons of medieval castles to the remote villages where whispers of witchcraft spread like wildfire, there are many stories waiting to be discovered. Let's journey beyond the familiar to uncover forgotten narratives of persecution. These stories are not just about the past, they reflect the fears and prejudices that can still be found in society today. Get ready to explore the chilling world of witch trials you never learned about in school. From the eerie forests where accused witches were hunted to the abandoned villages that still echo with their cries, there's much to uncover. This is your chance to delve into the past and uncover the truth. Join us as we peel back the layers of history to reveal the untold stories of those who suffered under the shadow of suspicion and fear. Venture north to the Orkney Islands, where the North Berwick witch trials of the late 16th century unfolded. This remote archipelago, with its rugged coastlines and misty cliffs, became the backdrop for one of the most infamous witch hunts in Scottish history. The trials were sparked by the confessions of a maidservant who claimed to have been part of a coven that raised storms to sink the ship of King James VI. Imagine a remote island community gripped by fear, accusing neighbors of conspiring with the devil. The paranoia spread like wildfire, leading to the torture and execution of many innocent people. The villagers, living in constant fear of the unknown, turned against each other in a desperate attempt to root out evil. Travel east to the Torsaka witch trials in Sweden, where over 70 people, mostly women, were executed in 1675. This small village in the Swedish countryside witnessed one of the largest witch trials in the country's history. The trials were driven by a combination of religious fervor and local disputes, resulting in a tragic loss of life. Picture the mass hysteria that consumed an entire region. Families were torn apart, and communities were plunged into chaos as accusations flew and fear took hold. The atmosphere was charged with suspicion, and no one was safe from the finger of blame. These are just glimpses into the widespread panic surrounding witchcraft. The fear of witchcraft was not confined to one place or time. It was a global phenomenon that affected countless lives. Historical documents and manuscripts reveal the extent of the hysteria and the tragic consequences that followed. From Europe to Africa to the Americas, the fear of the unknown ignited a firestorm of accusations. Each continent had its own stories of witch hunts driven by cultural, religious, and social factors. The legacy of these trials serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria and the human cost of fear and ignorance. The impact of these trials transcended the immediate victims, casting a long shadow over the entire community. Imagine the fear and suspicion that poisoned communities, tearing apart families and friendships. Neighbors turned against neighbors and trust was shattered. The trials often targeted marginalized individuals, healers, midwives, the poor and the elderly. These people, already vulnerable, found themselves at the mercy of baseless accusations. Consider how these accusations served as a tool to silence dissenting voices and maintain control. Those in power exploited the fear to suppress opposition and reinforce their authority. The legacy of these events serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria and the importance of critical thinking. It urges us to reflect on how easily fear can be manipulated and the devastating consequences it can have on society. Today, we must learn from the past and strive to foster communities built on understanding and empathy, rather than fear and suspicion. Only then can we prevent history from repeating itself. Centuries later, we are left to grapple with the haunting consequences of these events. How did seemingly rational people become convinced of the guilt of their neighbors? What drove these waves of accusations and executions? The answers lie buried in the past, waiting to be unearthed. Join us as we continue to explore the dark side of history.